And the first was the thing that I noticed over the weekend was this. I saw this story and it came out last week, but I was like, we got to talk about this because this is big. You and I both thought that this movie was going to hit $1 billion or close to it. A lot of people have been talking about it. The box office had it tracking and being a beast. And the early box office tracking projections for the Todd Phillips directed sequel, Joker, Folie, Deux, are being revised downwards. Just 2 weeks ago, wild estimates were being thrown about that the film could debut domestically to as high as 120 to 150 million opening weekend. We discussed it as much on this very show.
Yeah.
Others were more restrained, but 100 million plus start for the film to overtake the 96.2 million debut of the original seemed likely. Then, the film debuted at the Venice Film Festival to mixed reviews, and though critical aggregate scores were almost on par with the original. Now, with 3 weeks to go, the film has now appeared on short-term tracking services, and that opening weekend estimate has been revised downward to a start of somewhere over 70 million. If it does hit that, it would be the 7th highest opening for a movie at all time at the October domestic box office. The studio has also received praise from marketing executives that the film is also being sold as a Joker movie and hiding its musical elements. The film is reportedly tracking the strongest with men, especially over 25, followed by women over 25. Pre-sales are said to be big enough that some exhibitors are predicting a 90 million start. So, John, you hear all of that. What say you on that?
Yeah, it's a curious situation. I wonder if maybe, people have seen the trailers and they're not 100% on board. People are not maybe as excited that it's going the musical route. I also think we might just be exhausted, dude. Like, honestly, we might be so exhausted from all the real life drama in our lives and in our worlds. Of course, we had a sample of that over the weekend. That the last place people want to run and go to is a film that is going to be a hugely emotional commentary on the idea of madness and how it can affect our society and the toxicity of manhood, all these things that the Joker is inherently baked into the Joker with the approach Todd Phillips has taken. So I wonder if people are just like, you know what, I want to go and just enjoy myself. Because I was looking right now at the top 10 movies of the box office in 2024. Inside Out 2, Deadpool, Wolverine, Despicable Me 4, Dune Part 2, Godzilla, Kong, The New Empire, Kung Fu Panda, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Twisters, Alien, Romulus. Romulus is the darkest of the 10.
Dark 2. Dune 2.
I mean, yeah, but that's also inspirational because you're looking at a hero who's hopefully going to, bring the people together and whatever. But yes, there is certainly darkness to it, but not like with Joker. That's topical commentary. So I just wonder if maybe people are like, I'm not feeling this right now. I don't know.
Let's talk AG1. I love AG1. I had it this morning. I love it. It helps you build a healthy morning routine. 60 seconds to get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, more. And I've been drinking it for, forever. You can't be part of this show if you haven't heard me talking about AG1. I'm going to give you a couple of fast facts about AG1 and how it supports your gut health. It contains prebiotics, probiotics, and gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and keep you regular. In a research study, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. For me, I've had a lot of changes since I started to. I sleep better, better gut health, my focus, stress, all of it. It's just great. AG1's powder form makes it easy for your body to digest and access the nutrient-dense ingredients in the formula. They've been around with us for so long because so many of you guys have been doing it also. You've been getting AG1, you've been checking it out, you've been changing your routines, and it's worked. So if you want to start and notice the difference for yourself, it's a great first step to invest in your health, and that's why they've been a proud partner of mine for so long. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/bigthing. $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. Go ahead, check it out. There might be something to that, but I think that there's also the fact that the musical thing has been coming out. There has been more articles for it. Maybe the comic book stuff is part of it also. I am very excited for this movie. I still want to see this. I still think this movie is going to overperform because I can't imagine that festival has so much impact on the regular person. I just can't fathom it, that someone who wanted to see it's like, the hootie tooties over at the film festival said I shouldn't see it, so I'm out. I don't buy it. So what
do you think is happening?
I honestly really don't know. I think that it might come down to the fact that it is maybe one of those like, another comic book thing, another superhero thing. It's October. I don't know. Maybe I was gonna see it, but I don't really care anymore. Maybe they read something. Maybe the musical aspect they didn't know beforehand, but now that the fact that the musical did come in, maybe because there's a lot of people who don't pay attention to the news. There's like, oh, Joker 2 is coming out, and then they see one article that says, oh, in the musical aspect, it's a musical. I'm out. You know, and I mean they literally are getting praised for hiding the fact that it's a musical. You know, so it's that could be it. I don't know. But what I'm hoping for is that A, that it's a good movie, and B, that if it is, then people are like, oh, the musical stuff worked well because, as they said, the first movie didn't do critical praise. Right. So I don't know. I think that the fact that it's diminishing would be a little head scratching, but it's still like, even if it hits 70 million, it's still a pretty big weekend. It's just not going to be that they want it to be a phenomenon like the first one was.
Yeah, but it's not. It's that first one came at the right time, right? Like we were in that place of like superhero crescendo, right? And so the idea of a new approach to Joker, and I'd love to know if these numbers are being compared to the same people take the numbers from 2 weeks ago, and now their numbers they win again, and their numbers are lower 2 weeks later. That's what I'd like to know. Or if these were just industry estimates 2 weeks ago, and now they've actually done some tracking, and now the tracking is like lower. So the industry estimates were what they were thinking, but the tracking is showing you what's actually happening and has been happening throughout. I wonder when you look at the numbers you're getting now. But yeah, I mean, they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle again, and you know this. Like, you can't make something viral by making it viral, right? It's got to catch on however it catches on. I mean, who saw the Hawk Tua girl coming, and look how explosive that has become.
Somebody did. That's why she went viral.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen 5 million conversations with girls at bars on mics, and they say similar stuff.
Hey man, if she started a trend, God bless her.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Nobody saw that coming, so you never know.
Well, either way, it's going to be interesting. And I think that I do think that they might have.
I want to say one more thing, Kristian. They're not out there promoting it, right? Like, this is coming out in like 3 weeks. Where's Gaga? Why isn't she out there doing more? Where's Joaquin? Why aren't they out there like doing little things and promoting on social media and there hasn't been that much promotion for the film from the stars themselves. And again, this comes out in 3 weeks, October?
3 weeks. I think the heavy push will come soon, man. I think the heavy push will come soon. Yeah, 3 weeks. I mean, because it's just the cycle goes so fast. I mean, you got Transformers 1 coming out, which is just absolutely magnificent. Who in the world would ever thought I would be saying those words? I'm telling you, man, I think it is. It might be next to 1986 Transformers, my favorite Transformers movie. Wow. I want to see it again. I don't know if I should wait to see, because I know Matt Serra hasn't seen it yet, and I told him to wait and wait for it to come out on digital, so he and I could watch it and do one of our reactions. Right. So I'm curious and how that's going to play when that movie comes out, because that's a movie that not a lot of people were really pumped about after that first trailer, and then maybe the opposite, because now the reviews for that have been off the charts. It's got like 93% or something. It's one of the highest rated Transformers movies like ever, rightfully so. And I wonder if that's like the opposite of what we're talking about here with the Joker, that and more so to your point earlier, that it's more of like a happy, not happy necessarily, but you know what I mean, more a little more uplifting than say Joker 2. So maybe there's some merit to that. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe people didn't want a sequel to the Joker to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some people that just kind of
I know. I think the musical thing was ambitious, man. I think it was ambitious. I think because musicals in general are not. I mean, I understand what they're going for and the idea that it's going to be mental and all this stuff too. But musical's still a musical, and they don't play right now. They just don't play. You and I both love West Side Story, the remake. Thought it was one of the Spielberg's best, and it ate a pile of garbage. I mean, it ate it, and that movie is fantastic. And just ate it. Nobody cares.
It's crazy to say this about a film that made $1 billion, but the sequel itself may live on word of mouth. You know, because like you said, the critics came out and they had their opinions, but it's going to be people going to see this opening weekend and saying, "Oh, this is actually really good," and people need to go and see it. Forget the critics, blah blah blah. And so that may be what drives this thing to a higher box office than they're predicting.
You know, someone mentioned Wonka was a success. Yeah, but they hid that too. They hid
that big time.
They hid that was a musical. Like nobody knew it was a musical. I actually, that's a movie. And when somebody asks those questions, usually we get our questions at the end of the show. Someone always says something along, "What's a movie you thought you weren't going to like, or a movie that maybe at first glance you saw and you didn't dig it, and then you wound up liking it more. It's probably that movie.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I said, it's fine. The movie's fine. And then I watched it with my kids, and I absolutely loved it. And it just it's one of those movies that becomes more and more charming every time you watch it.
Yeah. Well, and it's because you can exist, because there was a musical element to the original, right? He sings Imagination. So you're not really that upset that there's a musical aspect to Wonka. But with Joker, as you said, it's a massive swing to do that with a character like this, and Harley Quinn as well. And and they're doing themselves no favors, Todd Phillips, with that. Well, we're not going to do the Harley Quinn you're used to with the chewing and the sass, and like, why do you want to?
Don't even say anything. But don't even say, don't say anything. Even if that's the case, if you don't, I mean, if that's your choice and that's the choice you made, don't promote it. Let people find out about it when they're in the theater.
Exactly.
Because even if it's great and it's a good choice, what people are going to hate it because it's not what they normally think.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Put your comments in there. Obviously, if you're in the live chat right now, thank you so much. And make your voice be heard. If you watch it on the replay, do it. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on all that stuff. So make sure you check all that out as well.